Hello everybody, they call me Muse and I welcome you back to Baldur's Gate 3 and me and Movin Gurga Jones on our honor mode adventures. How much food do we have? 719. That's enough for nearly 10 long rests. I feel like we could use one because we're out of shorts and a couple of characters are looking a bit wounded. So starting the day by tucking ourselves into bed seems like it could be a good idea. Let's just pop back to camp first, because yeah, friend Volo is here. Has your research turned up anything that might help with this parasite problem?
Not yet, I'm afraid. But my expectations are very, very high.
Of course they are. I guess I've already spoken to you then, so it is in fact bedtime. And then we'll speak to you in the morning, and soon we'll be able to reveal the unseen.
Hellsfire. She's coming.
Will, you've been naughty. And you know what happens when you're naughty.
Gods damn it. Anyone but her.
Hello, Missoura. Also, get out of my camp.
Now? But I'm just getting comfy. Call me Missoura. I'm Will's patron, the fount of his power. My pet's been unruly, and his leash needs a yank. We had a deal, Will. But Karlach's still breathing.
I've taken more pleasant shits than you, Missoura. And at least those can be buried after.
That's no kind of talk for a lady. By the way, Karlach, Zariel sends her regards.
You told me! Devils only! She's a tiefling, not a monster!
How precious. The little pupster's found his bark.
Clause G, Section 9. Target shall be limited to the infernal, the demonic, the heartless, and the soulless. Karlach meets the criteria, pet. Trust me on this.
That is kind of on Will for not reading his contract more thoroughly. But get to the point, Missoura. What do you want?
The point? Oh, yes. Thanks for the reminder.
Will burns in the fires of Avernus. The lightning storms of Dis strike his flesh. His soul passes through each layer of the hells, gaining their essence and their torment.
That's better.
What the hells have you done?
A promise broken, a price paid. You know the terms.
Get used to the new form, pet.
There's no going back. Some magic even I can't undo.
Now, let's see how the frontiers fare without their precious blade.
Karlach, keep an eye on him, would you? I'll be keeping mine on you.
What did I do?
Oh, and Will, don't forget, our pact still stands. Ta-ta.
She is a lady, so I suppose I can't fault her all that much. I suppose Will wants to speak to us as well about this. It's kind of important to him.
Gods damn her straight back to the hells. Just look at me. I did what was right, and Missoura made me pay for it. I'd be hunting devils and demons, she said. Traitors and hypocrites, heartless evils of all sorts, but not Zariel's victims. Not innocent tieflings.
Warlock pacts tend to be unforgiving from what you know of them. Will was lucky he didn't face a more severe punishment.
I probably shouldn't tell him that. He's not going to feel better about himself. But as a devil, she's hardly the paragon of honesty.
All these years. You'd think it's a lesson I'd have well learned. It's Mizora who grants me the power to conjure armor and cast eldritch blasts. Before I was infected, I could even call hell beasts and summon festering clouds. But I promise you, every thrust of my blade and every flame I sparked was for the good of the coast.
What stops you from continuing to be good for the coast? Also, is this pact what caused the rift between you and your father?
It's not unrelated. I wish I could tell you more. I can't utter the terms or circumstances of the pact. I can tell you most all else, but the pact, I'm forbidden, unless Mizora permits it. But I'll say this. The moment I pacted myself to Mizora, I have not regretted for a heartbeat. It was my proudest deed. It was worth the sacrifice. All I can give you on that is my solemn word.
I suppose that's good enough. Karlach, how do you feel about this? Get up, Karlach. It's not bedtime yet.
I'll be honest, soldier. I'm reeling. Will hardly knows me, but he chose my life over his. Been a long time since someone stuck their neck out for me like that.
I'd do it too. You must be relieved.
Gobsmacked, really. But grateful. Really grateful. I could learn a thing or two from a man like that. Hopefully we won't turn into mind flayers first.
Probably not. We're probably fine.
I promised I'd be back. Don't worry. I have things under control. For now. I see you've been using the powers the tadpole gives you. Good. But things haven't gone as you expected. You thought a Mind Flayer might know how to extricate one of its own from you. But Ameluum couldn't help you. Your tadpole lives. You're desperate to be rid of it. Understandable. But you're looking for solutions in the wrong places.
Amelia mentioned some sort of strange magic preventing the tadpole from being removed. What do you know about that?
Ameluum is correct. Your parasite is unusual. It is wrapped in magic that prevents its removal. Until the source of the tadpole's magic is destroyed, any attempt to remove it will kill you. You were lucky that Ameluum realized this before he attempted a fatal extraction. The parasites are merely a symptom of a greater sickness in Faerun.
What is the sickness?
The absolute aims are not yet clear to me, but its progress towards domination is clear. These parasites are more than illithid spawn. They are vessels for control. The infected hear the voice of the Absolute and believe it to be a god. You witnessed it yourself with Priestess Gut. That is how the cult of the Absolute is spreading. The highest of their rank, the True Souls, carry a tadpole just like yours. It is how they receive their orders. It is what makes them obey. When the order to transform is given, it will not be a matter of days. They will be Mind Flayers in an instant. Were it not for my protection, so would you.
Well, please keep protecting me then. How are you doing that, by the way?
I have powers of my own. Unique powers. But know that we are alike. Just like you, I was infected with a Mind Flayer parasite. Just like you, I seek to be free of it. I've been trying to escape from this evil for a long time. Once, I almost succeeded. Now, through you, I've been given a new chance. You can go where I cannot, and I can protect you from that evil. If we work together, We may turn this around. Hells. They need me. I have to go.
Is there anything I can do to help you?
No. I can handle this. For now. The power I used to protect you, I stole it from someone. They want it back. I will hold them off for as long as I can, but sooner or later I will be worn down. You must discover the source of the magic that controls the parasites before that happens. Follow the cultists' trail. They will lead you to their masters. Use the powers your parasite gives you to convince them you are one of them. And when you find the source of their magic, destroy it. Go. Our freedom depends on it.
Sounds easy enough. So we've just basically been explicitly told that attempts to remove our parasite will kill us. Let's see if Volo agrees with this.
Ah, my good fellow. Quite the cozy setup you have here. I'll just make myself comfortable. Thank you so much.
Any ideas yet, Volo? He's got an idea. We're just going to lie on our loot. I really should have turned that
My
off.
research turned up a rather brilliant technique that seems quite actionable. It's not too deep. Just behind the orbital socket. I could attempt an extraction. I've a needle in my tunic, after all.
A wise adventurer always brings a needle with him. You never know when you might need to repair your gear on the road.
Volo carefully holds one of your eyes open and begins to prod uncertainly with the needle.
It's quite a big needle.
The needle finds the gap between eyeball and socket. Volo frowns and begins to push.
It's going well.
Pain shoots through your body as the needle snags on your optic nerve.
I think I have it!
The needle seesaws back and forth, plucking the nerve like a harp string.
Oh, bother. There's some obstacle in the way. I shall need a more robust implement.
It's not going quite so well anymore.
Volo carefully withdraws the needle from your eye. Then, reaching into his bag, he produces an ice pick.
Very sensible. You never know when you might need to break some ice.
Volo
On the road?
slowly brings the ice pick closer to your eye.
Now, don't move.
Wouldn't dream of it.
Cold metal presses against the skin beneath your brow.
Everyone hated
And
this.
then, tap, tap, stab.
Do you feel that? Ha! I think we have the blighter on the run. I agree. It's a feisty critter. Just a little further.
Volo tears the pick from your brain with a violent jerk. Your eye plops down into the mud.
Drat.
He pauses, looks down at your eye, and recoils slightly as it sinks into the mud.
I'm sure it's fine.
There appears to be an amount of cosmetic damage.
All is well, I think.
Oh, fantastic! That squint does wonders for your gravitas, in my humble opinion. Though, perhaps there's something we can do.
Wonderful.
Take this. A far superior relic to that old jelly you were chained to. Try it on for size. And, it was very nice to have met you. I'm sure you'll sort out your little brain problem one way or another. Far away from here, if you've a heart. Terribly sorry, my friend. Ta.
Bye, Volo. And he's off. And he's already gone. What a cheeky scamp he is. And now we can see invisible things. This is going to be most useful to us on our journey. Where is the next stop on our journey? I think it's back up near the Risen Road kind of region. We have bested the gnolls. Kind of tricky, but we got the job done. And now our next step might be a few more gnolls. We're quite a way. Yes, quite a way off level 5 at this point. This is the difficult grind. Once we get to level 5, we'll get double attacks on a bunch of people. And suddenly we'll be much stronger, much more powerful. It's this 4 to 5 stretch that's the tricky one. Yeah, we're not far from a mean paladin. But I don't think we'll worry about said mean paladin just yet. We'll do the gnolls first. How does one sneak up on the cave without the gnolls spotting us? That's the question. Do we come up here? Because there is another way into this cave. That's where Rugen and Ollie are hanging out. So maybe that's not the way. Maybe this is the way. Yeah, down we go again, friends. I'd rather have Rugen and Ollie on side to just absorb some of the damage, perhaps. Traps and tripwires could be a problem. Exploding barrels could also be a problem. What might we do about them? Okay, that one didn't explode. That's fine. It's caused a little bit of fire, but maybe, in fact, we're best off. I don't want the entire party to get crushed by a boulder, because that would be a silly way to have our first death happen. And although this isn't official honor mode, I would like to avoid dying for the first time at least, for as long as possible. So where's the tripwire? There it is. That's answered that question. So with that out of the way, we could probably get the whole party in now and sneak round to friend Rugen. Is there anything in that box over there? Bit of booze. Oops. Now, crew, can you make your way past the boulder? Now, are there any more traps? I hope not, because there's a lot of booze around. Now, friends, potentially, if we were super sneaky, we could just sneak up, grab the chest, and then bugger off with it. I'm not sure if that's doable.
Who the hell's... Get over here and help!
That's the plan.
If we don't deal with them gnolls, none of us are getting out of here alive.
But we'll go with, yeah, your Zent friend sent me to retrieve the cargo.
You working for Zaris? Didn't expect that black-hearted vixen to send help. Bloody grateful, mind.
Right, you ready? Let's kill these gnolls.
Thanks. Me and the boy will do what we can to help. We've still got some fight in us.
Good. Warm bodies, that's what we need.
That's curious.
Now, are you gnolls going to just come in? They are. They're just running through the fire like a bunch of idiots. Amazing. Flint has 110 HP. But despite being a difficult opponent, they are not a legendary opponent. They don't have extra actions in honor mode. I think we'll try and take out some of the chaff first if we can. That's a decent start. And then Mo gets to act as well. So we could run up and just smack that bugger. Nice. This might be a fight where we rage and then start bleeding things. But let's see what happens next. Nice try. Seething Fury. Nope. That failed. Now, the rest of the crew. So, Gale. Probably want you up there at some point, but you're not able to get there just yet. This is definitely a fight for spells. That's good damage, I think. Yeah. It was about 20-30 damage. Now, what are you going to do, Will? %45 chance on Flynn. Better chance on this one because it doesn't have high ground. So we'll do that. Now, Rugen and Ollie don't seem inclined to move this turn. Oh, let's just run through the fire like an idiot. Oh no, Ollie is moving after all. Nice.
We'll try to hold the rest back.
That's sound advice. Now you're going up high. Smart. What are you going to do, Flint? She's rushing in. And she's not doing all that much. Good. So we'll do some decent damage to her. Ah, I should have probably put Hunter's Mark on as well. But that's fine. Costs us a spell slot, but what else are we using spells for in a ranger? Not a lot. Tiger's Bloodlust. Attack up to 3 enemies at once. I'm not sure fully how it works. Is it like, do they all have to be in front of us? Yeah, it's kind of a cone deal, but it's a pretty wide cone. Blamos. Now they're all bleeding. We are very vulnerable next turn though, because of the whole reckless attack thing. Hopefully we won't take too much damage. One of them's just gone down. I guess we culled the weak. And the bleeding counted towards that. Nice. So who's next? Will and Gale. Will. Then your 45% chance. Probably because you haven't bound your weapon by the look of it. Were you using Shadow Blade before? Maybe. Yeah, I completely forgot to reapply Shadow Blade after the night's rest. So that would explain why he's got such a feeble chance to hit anything. Oh well. We might get a hit in if we're lucky. Yes, good. Then Gale. Another of those big magic missiles might be nice. It's good damage. Yeah. Rugen continues to take out the chaff. Ollie's going to climb up as well. Clever. I should have probably moved up with Gale. I'm not as smart as the computer. Do we want Gale to take another hit? Nah. Yeah. Hyena's doing very little. Jesus, that's damage. Will has been bested. Do we want Will back on his feet? It'd be nice for the XP, but I'd rather not waste a turn getting him on his feet when we could be killing some enemies. Well, it turns out we're not doing that either, so whatever. So what's our odds to hit with yeah, let's shuffle a bit. That's worth the risk. And then we can make both of these bleed. Nice. Flint is not long for this world. What exactly is bleeding doing? 2 damage per turn. So 2 damage next turn takes him down to 6. So probably not enough to kill the weak. Unless we also follow up with that. Nice. Flint is bested. She was tough. And she put Will on his butt. Oh, there goes Ollie. There goes Gale.
Can't have me. Not yet.
There goes one of our chums. Now, we probably want to keep some of the party on their feet if we can. Amazing. I could have just helped him up and it would have been 1. But I thought, let's use Cure Wounds. Let's see if we can't give him a bit more health when he recovers. But no. That is not what's happening here. Now, Tiger Star lets us do big leaps, so that's that guy threatened. There goes Gale again. We should probably try and get Will up, you know. Yeah, Karlach, you're just on helping duty at this point.
There's a little parasite in that corpse. You should take a look.
And let's all head back down here and get Gale on his feet. Wonderful.
Freshened up and ready to fight.
Now, Flint, I would like your Shattered Flail. And your Parasite.
Lad. He deserved better.
So, look at the far
Felt as his
realms.
coin.
Rugen, are you stealing Ollie's coin purse? You wretch.
Thank the gods that's over. Wish you'd been with us when the beasts attacked on the road. I'll take the cargo back to Zaris at the hideout. Drop by and see me when you can. I owe you a drink.
Okie doke. See you there. Right, so Rugen's going to head off momentarily. Well, let's bind your Shadow Blade before I forget. And Mo, we were going to give you the Shattered Flail. Does less damage, but it can keep us healed. So I think we'll go ahead and do that. Yeah, the Everburn Blade on Will would be an option, perhaps. But no, we'll go with the Shadow Blade for now. Now, do we have any spare shields? We do. So that means... yeah, Mo's still got the lowest armor class, so you'd think enemies would target her the most. But that doesn't seem to have been the case so far. So, it is what it is. Don't think any of these other gnolls are going to have... oh yeah, they've got hyena ears, haven't they? We'll take those in case we decide to make any potions of speed later. Which is not something I'm used to doing. But it might be necessary. Karlach is just using a regular scimitar at the moment. I've got a weapon in mind for her. Well, there's a weapon that I'll be getting because the guide suggests it's a good weapon to get. But we don't have it yet. So maybe we'll give a speedy reply for now, just because it's a slightly better scimitar. I'm wondering, are we fit enough to take on the paladins without any extra rests? There's only 3 of them, and only one of them is any sort of serious threat. So if we could, like, Nova him down on turn 1, that would be cool. There's also the possibility we could take the fight from 3 enemies to 2 fairly early on. Let's have a look. Cyril.
Need any supplies? We've fewer mouths to feed now.
What you got? Got some useful stuff here and there.
In Tyr's name.
Yeah, Tyr's name, of course. Now, come on out here, please. And stand here somewhere. I want to see what happens if you get a bit of a nudge. I could hurt someone, but it seems like I'm not hurting someone. That's a shame. Oh, there we go. Oh, that starts the fight. Dang it. And she's still alive.
Cutting to the chase.
Can we reach her? We can, and we can get a crit. That's good. Now, let's get the rest of the crew down there as well, perhaps. How best to do that? Let's bring them around this way. We're giving up the high ground to their archer. But we've certainly kicked off the fight at this point, so I'd rather the team were close-ish together. Now, everyone gets to have a turn first before Anders the troublemaker gets to do anything. So let's try and gather everyone around near this ladder. What you can do, Anders. Just a dash. Doesn't get you far enough to do much of anything. But we can give you Sonic Backlash from down here. That's pretty cool. You're also dashing. Okay. Now, we can get up there and give you a smack. Have we then got enough movement to get back down the ladder? Break your concentration, that's a nice bonus. We've got plenty of movement left. We can shove you, but we can't really shove you down. So let's just scuttle away like cowards. Karlach, can you do the same? But maybe with the bow. Oh, you do have long strider. I should have probably put that on everyone as well. On Egypt. I suppose I could still do that now. But now that we're in the middle of a fight for our lives, probably best to try and do a bit of damage here and there. Nice. Not expecting all of these to hit, but apparently they are. And then Will, up we go. If you can get off a stab. Ah. It's too much to hope for, I guess. Anders has to dash again. I guess he's going to make it down to us this turn. Yeah, he is. So now we need to focus him down rapidly. Probably shield that. So, what do? We could bop him on the head and he would lose his dexterity bonus to his armor class. But I guess he doesn't really have that. Is he wearing medium armor or heavy? Either way, he's only got 11 dex. So maybe we're just better off smacking him about the face. And that's broken his concentration, which might also be nice. Karlach can just stab him, I think. Hunter's Mark, though. That's the thing that we can do. Get some extra damage off. It's going well. Gale. I think an upcast magic missiles is worth it for old Anders. Oh, good. We got him. I was terrified of this fight because of the way that he can just one-shot you with half of his attacks. But it seems I had less to worry about than I thought. No. Will, can you hit this time? No, and this time it's a critical miss, no less. You haven't got the strength to... Oh yeah, you have. Wonderful, we broke the ladder, but we left Trin on 1 HP, surrounded by people who might opportunity attack. So that's quite good. Gale's still technically got a move left. Yeah, good job. Now, get bonked.
Fuck them. Fuck Zariel. I won't go back. I'm never going back. And if any of Mummy's little friends want to pick up where the others left off, they'll find nothing but a pile of ash.
That's pretty hot. Zariel won't get near you again, Karlach. We will make sure of that.
That's right, she won't. She can't. She couldn't even lay a finger.
Wonderful. Now she's off to smash the place up. We'll just stay down here and loot Anders of his Sword of Justice. I mean, we'd loot him of everything, really, won't we? We can sell it. Will doesn't seem to want to come down. It's probably having difficulty pathfinding, what with the ladder not being there anymore. Karlach's having her fun. So we'll just stay out of the way for the moment. We don't want to catch fire. Oh, she's got over it. Good.
Whew. Had to let off a little steam after facing off with those ignots. Granted, the fire's lasting a little longer than it should. How do I look?
Hot.
Careful, soldier. If I burn any hotter, I might explode. Hear that? Infernal engine for a heart. Lets me burn as hot as the hells. Seems to be running in overdrive since I left Avernus. Won't be seeing my mechanic anytime soon, so I'll just make the most of the extra heat. Just don't get too close, till I've found a way to calm it down.
What's the engine allow you to do?
Burn, baby. As hot as I can tolerate. Makes me a beast in battle. Hardly remember what I was like before it. But it's a bit early in the game to be getting into tragic backstories. Let's save the Scar show for later, after we've worked up an appetite for tragedy. Meanwhile, I'll need to find someone who can tune up my engine sooner rather than later. Believe me when I say this thing is hot. The first time I faced down those paladins, they let slip there was an infernal mechanic in the area. A tiefling. He might be able to stabilize things, if I can find him.
It's awfully convenient of them to mention that. There are some tieflings in the Druid's Grove, so we could look there.
Sounds like a good lead. Hopefully our guy will be among them. A tune-up would do this old tub a world of good.
So we have a plan. Make Karlach better. Seems like something we'd quite like to do. But first, let's explore this toll house a little bit. See if there's much left after Karlach burned the place. The baguette's still there. Yay. What are we going to find in here aside from a bunch of vents? Not a huge amount of stuff out here, I don't think. But in the hidden room there should be some bits. And yeah, even though it's honor mode and every penny might count,
That's curious.
I don't feel like opening every single crate in here. So let's just see what we can do about opening this.
Something's happening, but not enough something.
A little bit of something's happening. What if we put a large bottle on this chair? Is it going to allow us? There we go. Now, does anyone want to spot this trap?
Trap.
Good.
So much for a warm welcome.
Does anyone want to disarm that trap? Yeah, Karlach is our dexterous character. Let's see what she can do. She's got +6 to it. +7 to 10 now. That's not a great roll. But it's great enough. Good. We don't want this whole place to be full of poison clouds or whatever. Maybe we'll stick to Karlach for now, because she's got the weight capacity to grab a few things, I think. Great Axe +1 we'll take, for sure. Great Sword we'll take. The Gloves of Heroism. Whenever you use your Channel Oath spells, you gain Heroism. Can't be frightened. Receive 5 temporary HP per turn. That's kind of cool. Don't know if we're going to get much use out of it. But kind of cool nonetheless.
I owe you one for saving my people. The Zhentarim look out for their own. Even if it's Rugen. Here's your coin. As promised. Our trader can show you some of our more exotic items now. But don't delay. This place is likely to be rubble soon.
What are you planning to do?
Someone kidnapped a duke. Right on our bloody doorstep. The Flaming Fist will need someone to blame. I don't plan on it being us.
Well, that's sensible. And we've earned Harold. And now we're encumbered. We are overflowing with Harold. So I think we'll give that to Karlach. In the long run, she's going to be mostly up close and personal. But Will and Gale certainly don't need it. And Mo's even more up close and personal, so seems like a smart move. Speaking of smart moves, let's remember to put Longstrider on everyone. And what's the plan? I think the first plan is buy things from Brem, and then the second plan might be speak to him about his artist chum.
Well, don't you cut a fine figure? Want your portrait done? If you have the gold, my pet artist will make you a most heroical likeness.
I'm a hideous monster. We just want to trade.
Of course. Got some interesting stock for a friend of the family.
So, all sorts of guff to sell. Now, what do you have to buy? Pink and leaf green dye. Deep lilac dye, that could be nice. Bloody plum. Why do these dyes all sound so tasty? Gloves of Thievery. Yes, please. Titan string bow. That's generally a nice thing to have. Mo is strong. So that could be her bow for pretty much the whole game, probably. Giant Breaker's cool, but I don't know if it's worth buying. Yeah, that might be everything we need to purchase for now. And now that Titan string
Something I can help you with?
and the Gloves of Thievery are equipped, we can't actually speak to him with Will anymore about the artist. Okay.
Zaris may have welcomed you, but I can see you're not one of her thugs. You need to buy me.
Maybe, but you don't look very expensive.
Not to you, perhaps. But those of actual taste might disagree. For the return of her prize artist, my patron will measure her gratitude in gold. Tenfold whatever ransom these clots try to squeeze from you, I guarantee it.
Who is your patron?
As far as you're concerned, she may as well be the coin maiden herself. But there will be time for questions later. Please, speak to Brem. I need to see the sun again.
I suppose we can speak to Brem again. Yeah, I'm here to buy your assist.
I doubt you've got that kind of dosh line about.
I mean, we've got a fair amount of dosh lying around, but... yeah, we don't have that much. Well, we do, but don't tell Brem that. He knows how much we've got. We just sold a whole bunch of gubbins. 15? Should be good. Yes, it is.
Alright, so maybe I was fishing. No fooling you.
600? Seems reasonable.
He's all yours. Don't forget to feed him. He balls something proper.
Thanks, Brem. Now, I do have a few other bits I can sell you.
Back already?
And let's speak to our artist.
I can't say I've ever been bought before. How much did I fetch? No, don't tell me. There's nothing so depressing as learning one's true value. Well, you should at least know what you've paid for. I am the Oscar Fevras, at your service.
And I'm Moven Gerger Jones. You can call me Mo.
A genuine pleasure. I'm in your debt, as is my patron. My betrothed, I should say. Assuming Lady Janeth still wishes to marry me after our little, falling out.
You recall a recent scandal. A patriarch of Baldur's Gate who wished to marry a commoner.
So you're Lady Janeth's runaway groom?
I did not run away. A date was never set. There were... complications. Before my fame, my patron, there was another woman. One I planned to spend my life with. But when Lady Janeth offered me a future, well... it felt only right to mention my past. Right, but unwise. I was forced to retreat into the countryside, to paint and to clear my head. To choose, I suppose.
And what choice did you make?
Oh, absolutely none. Fame and wealth suit me very well, no doubt. And yet, I think of that first love, and I hesitate. Likely I'm going mad. Regardless, we have more immediate concerns. Your reward once I've returned to the city, for one. Say, I don't suppose you could spare some coin, could you? Ease the discomforts of the road some.
Yeah, we can, because I've just remembered something. So here's 200 gold.
A hero to the hilt. Seek me out in the city, truly. Beneath my brush, you'll live forever. Until Baldur's Gate, then.
Yes. Now, back to the Risen Road. Because I've just remembered that I didn't loot Cyril after the battle. Technically this is cheating because I've got the mod on, which enables traders to drop all their goods if they die. But I firmly believe that they should do that. If you can pickpocket their entire inventory, then they should drop it on death. So let's snatch some gold off Cyril and anything else of value, perhaps. Maybe not anything of value. But just a few bits and bobs here and there. We'll leave some of the potions that we're probably not going to use.
Should mind my step.
Wonderful. Horrible cheating has occurred. If you feel terribly strongly about it, then I'll see you in the comments. Dammon is probably the next thing on the agenda then, because we want Karlach to feel well. Do we have any infernal metal about our person? It doesn't look like we do. So the Blighted Village first. We haven't made a huge amount of progress towards level 5 today. Oh, I've already unlocked this door. Good. Yeah, level-wise, we've still got quite some way to go. But that's fine. We could probably kill the entire goblin camp at level 4, except for the main folks. What can we learn here?
Weapon blueprints that use Sousa bark. Rare find. If only I knew where to find some.
Well, don't worry, Karlach. I know where to find some. We'll get there soon enough. And there we go, Infernal Iron.
Infernal metal. That's what my engine's made of. Hang on to that.
Will do. Started playing an off-camera version of this challenge with honor mode rules and stuff. Just to pass the time, really. I'm not doing anything in it that I haven't already done as part of this playthrough. But one of the things that I have got to in that playthrough is the assault on the Druid Grove, where Will first appears. And in that version, it went a little bit differently. It went, provoke the blade and suffer its sting. And then a goblin was just like, crit. And Will's just like, I'm dead. Glad that didn't happen in this version, because I wanted Will in the party. But it was incredibly funny that you can just lose a companion through no fault of your own that early on. It's possible to lose Gale early on if you fail some skill checks or similar and he doesn't get dragged out the portal, but that is far less likely, it seems, than Will just getting murked by a gobbo.
Thought I sensed an infernal around here. But you aren't from Elturel. What's your story?
I spent a good bit of time in the Hells. Enlisted against my will by the Archdevil Zariel. Same as you, I suppose, if you're from Elturel. The devils were delighted when your city was swallowed up. I thought they had you for keeps. Glad you got out.
I got lucky. It looks like you did too. And you brought some infernal machinery with you.
A little gift from Zariel. Keeps me burning hot.
Very hot by the smell of it. Might be burning out a piston ring or leaking oil. Mind if I take a listen?
Be my guest. But don't get too close or your eyes will melt shut.
That's not ideal if you're a mechanic. They like eyes.
Phew! You really are burning up. Whoever put that engine together tried to house metallurgized Demono valves inside a Ragnak's alloy casement. Very risky. I might be able to help, but I'd need infernal iron. And a prayer that my hammer will survive the work. That thing isn't meant to operate outside of Avernus. I'm not sure how much longer it'll keep running the way it's going.
Will you be able to turn down the temperature a little? Worried I'm gonna go in for a handshake and singe someone's arm off one of these days.
I'd worry about surviving the night first. But help one, help both. If we can cool you off, it'll stabilize your engine and allow you to touch whomever you please.
Go on.
Hey, soldier. I think we picked up some of that infernal iron already. What say you? Should I give it to him?
Yes, absolutely, Karlach. Let's see what you can do.
Please let this work.
The weight of it. And that blaze of chaos. Can't imagine this where my heart should be. Must be quite the experience. Give me just a moment. And I think... There. You'll have to install it, I'm afraid. I don't think there are thick enough gloves in all the realms to protect from that kind of heat.
That feels... good. I'm still burning hot as hell's hole, but I feel less... changeable. Cheers, mate.
Pleasure. And as for the heat, I haven't got any solutions now. but I'm not giving up. Could be if the combustion chamber had its own insulation, or if we had some kind of enchanted coolant. Find me again in Baldur's Gate. If I'm worth my salt, I'll have figured something out by then. Take care, Karlach. And hopefully the next time I see you, I'll have something promising to report. Pocket any infernal iron you find along the way,
Can do. Now, how you feeling, Karlach?
Damon's upgrade didn't cool me down, but it did juice me up.
Blimey.
I don't think I've ever felt more powerful.
I still can't touch you, though.
Do you want to?
Of course I do.
I'd like that. Now, let's find that infernal iron before I overheat.
Hooray! And maybe we will find some more infernal iron. Whatever we find, though, we're going to find it next time. So until then, thanks for watching, friends.